Okay, let me pretend I'm gonna remember this shit. Hello, my name is Desiree Birch, and I am up. And we are talking about Sister Rosetta Tharpe, the queen of rock and roll. No, not the godmother of rock and roll, that's too benevolent. The queen, she owned that shit. The queen of rock and roll.
Regardless of what you say in the show, drink responsibly, yeah?
All the time you talk about rock and roll, people are like, oh, Chuck Berry did that, or it's a bunch of dudes.
Oh, Elvis.
Yes, Elvis. Okay, Elvis was the last one to catch that damn boat, all right? The first person to really make rock and roll happen was a woman named Sister Rosetta Tharpe. But nobody told us about it, so I'm about to tell you. You're welcome. She was born in 1915 in Cotton Plant, Arkansas, which is like the backwoods of the back motherfucking woods. She, grew up in the church because that's what black people got to do in the not enough numbers. Do you know what I mean? She's like, this isn't enough numbers for me to be myself, so I guess I'm gonna have to be somebody else. And she was this like child prodigy on the guitar. And so she's up in the church like, okay, cool, I'm playing this guitar and my mama preaching and everybody preaching. And I'm like, la la la. You know how you go to church and people on the guitar and they're like, da-na-na, we're all friends, everybody's friends, we're holding hands, singing a song, and Jesus. And it's like, no, Jesus loves it when you jam. When you tear up, that's the name of the Lord. In the middle of that, she got married, and then after like a couple of years, she was like, I'm gonna take your name, but I don't really like your ass, to be perfectly honest, so bye. So she peaced out, she and her mom peaced out. They left the south of Arkansas, because where the is Arkansas, first of all. Now, at some point, the Great Migration happens and all the black people were leaving the South, and they move up north to New York City, where they wind up playing, music in church, right? Everyone recognizes that she is incredible, right? She gets signed to Decca Records. She records this song called Strange Things Are Happening Every Day, right? And there's like drums like, that's, I don't even, that's not the tune, but whatever. And it is widely considered to be the first rock and roll song.
First rock and roll song ever.
Yes, like that is where blues, rhythm and blues, like gospel, whatever, translated, turned into popularized rock and roll was in this song, There's this weird dichotomy now where she's got this gospel music. It's all about the Lord, but it's all sounds like it's about shaking your ass at the club kind of thing, right?
I think that's the best way, man.
It is the best way,
it's about the Lord doesn't mean it has to be boring.
But that doesn't mean your mama's gonna be happy about it when you come home. And we're like, really? Is Jesus rocking me, or is that just you? Right? So, the thing is, like, white people are picking up on this, like, yeah, rock me, right? Because they don't know nothing about the law, But then, like, black people are like, I don't even know if that is Jesus or not, Like, they're like, it sounds really good, but, like, I don't know if Jesus went all that. But she's like, look, I can't please all y'all all at once. Like, these people's is paying me, so let me go ahead and just make some rock and roll. So she's filling up jazz clubs, like famous jazz clubs. She is really owning this now. Every time she puts on the guitar, she tears the I don't even know how to play a guitar, but like rock and roll musicians throughout history go back to her because she was the one who she distorted the guitar.
She's the blueprint.
Yeah, she is. She's sort of this huge phenomenon. Damn it, now I'm drunk. I forgot the rest of the stuff I was supposed to say. Oh, that's right. So, it's 1964 now in Manchester. She's doing this televised gig, even though it's been down rain. Suddenly it's Britain, so it stopped. It's always intermittent. It's always like, oh, it's raining. It's not. I don't know. What season is it? I don't know. No, anyway, so everybody who's in her crew is kind of like, why are we doing this thing again? Because it seems like we have these shows and like, why we got to do this random the day when we can be sleeping, right? She's got like her best coat on, you know what I mean? She's like, look, I brought my Sunday best over to this country to do this damn show, so let's just do it. So she comes in and she changes the first number to this gospel song she has called Didn't It Rain? And she just like goes for it. When they're hearing that music and like their bodies are like, I can't control it. Like, oh my God, I didn't know you could play a guitar like that. What? You know, like Bob Dylan, who nobody really thinks about as like rock and roll. He was like, look, a lot of people were at that concert that day, and I bet a bunch of British kids went home and started learning guitar from Sister Rosetta Tharpe. Rosetta was that person for so many young white guys for whom they were just like, yeah, well, I mean, if the black people are doing it, surely we can do it. And like, that's the shit. That's the thing. When you're a black woman, you just better get used to people taking your shit and giving you zero credit. And people being like, I don't know if like, it's not this, but it's not that. We don't know what to call it. And meanwhile, all these white people are gonna do it. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, oh. Wow, that was really bold and brave, you know? And no, it wasn't. It was bold and brave when that did it. She was the queen. She started that like rock and roll that begat all rock and roll, all of that like hip swinging, you know, rock and roll. She was the first one to tear up an electric guitar before all of y'all, okay? So like, you best bow down, say a prayer every single morning to Sister Rosetta Tharpe, because she is your patron saint of rocking them hips around like that shit. Right? Shaking that booty. They didn't know how to shake their booties. They didn't know they had a booty. You're welcome for your booty. And that's how we have rock and roll as we know it.
That's that.
This is my favorite look, by the way, when super ripped people put on something soft.
I didn't
They're
buy
like,
this.
yeah, I know that I'm pumped all the time, but I also have a soft side.
You should see me there.
I have feelings too. Rat Man has feelings.
This ain't the one chosen color. You know,
but it's so like, it's like, yes, I'll pass the gravy. I want everyone here to have a good time. It's very nice.